Alright, hello and welcome. This is BoBoFraggles, recording a video on behalf of the Magic Online Society. Now, the format we're going to be playing today is a format called Penny Dreadful. Now, if you've read our article series on how to build an MTGO collection for free, you'll know that the first way to start to build that collection is going to be by playing Penny Dreadful. Now, Penny Dreadful, quick little recap, is a format where every card at the beginning of rotation, which coincides with standard set releases, has to be 0.02 cents or less, meaning that the maximum that a deck can cost at the beginning of rotation is 1.5 tickets, right? So this is free if you have a 5-ticket rental account from Card Hoarder, like we recommend because they sponsor us. So I'm just going to show off one of the decks in Penny Dreadful, and this is actually called Red Deck Wins. It's a very fast red aggro deck, very angry, and we're just going to do a little deck tackle on it. So the mana base is like super simple. It is mountains, 20 lands, 16 mountains, 4 Mistress Factory. Now, Mistress Factory is great as these late game beatdowns. Okay. It's got a bunch of 1-mana creatures, so we have Stromkirk Noble, which is insanely good in this format. It gets bigger and bigger as time goes on. It comes to be a 3/4 power creature by the time it's done. Get to Lava Runner. It's great, a little aggro card. Then we use a Spikefield Hazard as a weird land / tempo removal. This card, as you'll see in the video, is pretty good. We got Viashino Pyromancer, just deals 2 damage to the face. In this format, there's not many Planeswalkers that are legal, so you really don't have to worry about Planeswalkers. Okay, so the card that's proven itself to be broken in this format is Smuggler's Copter. Smuggler's Copter is already ballooned in price, but it stays legal until the next rotation. So this card will absolutely not be legal after this season, but this coming season it was legal, and this has proven to be the broken card. Now we got Goblin Chainwhirler, which is just a great 3/3 first striker, deals 1 damage to each opponent when it enters the battlefield, and their creatures, so good against these like go wide small creature token decks. Another card that's proven to be a little broken is Hazoret the Fervent. This card is insane, right? Like turn 4, turn 5, you draw this, it's never a dead card unless you can't cast it. So, you know, 2 damage to each opponent. It makes each draw step matter. Each draw step turns into a shock, so especially when you're on this late turns, it's pretty good. Not to mention it's just a beater on its own. Then we just have a bunch of burn spells. We have Incinerate, which is legal in Penny Dreadful. We have Burst Lightning, which is legal in Penny Dreadful. And we have Chain Lightning, legal in Penny Dreadful. In our sideboard, we have ways to remove creatures in 4 Arc Trail, 2 damage to one target, 1 damage to another. Sometimes you can 2-for-1 people here. Price of Progress, there's a lot of artifact lands from Modern Horizons 2 that are legal. So we want to punish people who utilize a lot of non-basics. Got 4 of those. Then we got Goblin Assault, and Goblin Assault is really good as a way to keep pressure going on decks that try to stop you. So it's just a good way to keep the pressure coming. Then we got Soulseer, which deals 5 damage to our creature or Planeswalker, and that creature loses indestructible. This is really good. There's quite a few indestructible type creatures in Penny Dreadful that are played, so this is a good way to get around it. And then we have our Graveyard Hate. And this is just a way that we try to stop Oops All Spells. Oops All Spells is an extremely powerful combo deck in Penny Dreadful, so this just helps stop that. So we ran this through a 5-match Penny Dreadful League. Hope you enjoy it. We will be around, and I will give you my play-by-play in a recap. So stick around. We'll be right back with match number 1. Alright, welcome to our Penny Dreadful Mono Red Aggro League. This is BoBoFraggles recording this on behalf of the Magic Online Society. Now, the Magic Online Society is sponsored by Card Hoarder, so make sure you check out Card Hoarder for all of your MTGO needs. Now, you can also get the $5 rental account, right? And the $5 rental account will cover you for almost any Penny Dreadful deck, so you can play an unlimited amount of MTGO for free using the 5-ticket rental account. Alright, so we're Mono Red Aggro. We're on the play. Love being on the play. with Mono Red Aggro. So this hand is absolutely amazing. We have, you know, Mountain, we have Stromkirk, we have Get To, we have Get To. We have a turn 3 play if we get there, and we have removal. I love this hand. So what we're doing is dropping down a Mountain, dropping that Stromkirk. I love Stromkirk out first because Stromkirk builds over time, and the longer it's out, the better it is. So this person playing a Razor-Type Bridge. Now, Razor-Type Bridge is indestructible, and it also combos a lot, as you'll see. But first and foremost, we get in for some damage. We hit them for 1. Now, I drop a Mountain, I play Get To, and we're good. Now, this is where the combo happens. We have Ghost Quarter and we have an indestructible bridge. So watch what they do. Boom. They try and they get to search for whatever land they want. It turns it into a fetch land. And then they Cleansing Wildfire that land. It's indestructible. They go get another land. It's like a cool ramp spell. But I like where we're at because we're here trying to hit them in the face. So we come in for 4. Stromkirk gets bigger. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to drop the Smuggler's Copter. Again, Smuggler's Copter is a broken card right now. Because as you see, like, we don't have lands. Plus we have two dead cards. So what they do is they oust our Stromkirk, right? And they Brainstorm. So they're delaying us a bit, right? Now they Cleansing Wildfire again, they ramping. This isn't great for us, right? We're not loving where we're at, especially because we're not hitting land drops, so we can't play these expensive cards. But anyway, we're going to fill Smuggler's Copter up, and we're going to try to filter some of these terrible cards out of our hand. So we draw Stromkirk, we get rid of the Chain Whirler because we can't play it, and then we go ahead and we Stromkirk. And we go ahead and try to use our mana efficiently and get them down. So now I technically have the win next turn because we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 points of damage. So we're putting ourselves in the best position to try to win this game. But they play Soulfire Grandmaster. They play 2 Soulfire Grandmasters. And we draw another Hazoret. So it's not great, but let's go ahead and get rid of one of those. We're going to go ahead and we're going to fill up Stromkirk. Now, we're going to fill up Smuggler's Copter. Stromkirk says it can't be blocked by humans. This is a human. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to crash in with things that they can't block. Oh, sorry. I now have 2 spells, and I'm willing for them to gain 2 life to trade. And I want to get rid of one of these Hazorets because they're just not good right now. So they end up trading. They gain 2. They take 4. They're hanging on. Now they again do basically the same thing as Cleansing Wildfire. Destroy target land. Search a library for basic land card. They're ramping. Squadron Hawk. So now they're really starting to try to like flood this board a little bit. They play 2 of those. I'm fine with that. You know, our creatures are bigger, so we have Burst Lightning. So I go ahead and here and I play the Viashino Pyromancer. It takes them to 4. And I go ahead and equip up the Smuggler's Copter, and we get in for some damage here. We get a Spike Field instead of another Hazoret because, again, we don't have lands. They ramp a little bit more. They go down to 2 damage. Now I have enough in hand, so unless they gain a bunch of life, they do. They play Sunset Revelry, so they played this card to grab this card and play it. So now they get 2 1/1s and they gain 4 life, and then they play the other card. Now we happen to have 6 points of burn, right? But we're going to go ahead and again, we have to keep doing what we're doing. So we're going to draw, discard, and they double up. And they're trying just to get rid of our board. This I disagree with. They should have spread it out more to conserve more life, but they went down to 2. Or sorry, they went to 4, and that gave me the ability to burn them down. So we ended up winning game 1. They probably could have held on another turn depending on what they had, but that was game number 1. Be right back with game number 2. All right, we are in match number 1, game number 2. All right, so we are in Mono Red Aggro. We're up a game, and they are on the play. So they drop Ponder. Now I go ahead and get 2 onto the battlefield. They play their Spire Bluff Bridge. I drop another land and crack them for 1. Right now, the best thing to do is get another get 2 down and just hold on. We didn't. Mono Red is better when they use their mana efficiently. In this, we didn't really get to use our mana in the best way. We technically can with Spikefield Hazard, but it's just not the exact play pattern that we want. And they got us pretty good here with this Sweltering Suns. Right, we didn't have a lot of play after that, so we hit them for 1. And the plan now is to go in with Hazoret. I brought in Arc Trail. It was so dumb. I brought in Arc Trails for those Soulfire Grandmasters. I thought they were gonna play. Just such a bad idea. It was just such a bad card in my hand. They are ramping. They get another artifact land. We incinerate them on end step, just trying to utilize our mana. Here we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna drop Hazoret, so that way next turn we can unload and start attacking. They get Jockalups, right? So it's not good. They ousted our Hazoret, and then they got Jockalups, so they are about to whoop us. So we go ahead and just deal as much burn to them as possible. They play Glinthawk. I think here they probably should have just Jockalupsed, but they didn't because now we have this Hazoret that's coming in. But we'll see. So they play Soulfire Grandmaster. Sorry, what was that card? I went a little bit too fast. Walk the Aeons. So they get an extra turn. So we are not looking good here, right? So I ended up conceding here because they're going to get an extra turn. They're going to Jockalups, and we're not going to have any. We're not going to have any lands. So I conceded this one, and we're on to game number 3. All right, game number 3, match number 1 of our Penny Dreadful Mono Red League. I'm on the play here again, which is absolutely phenomenal, and this is such a good hand, right? We have Goblin Assault. I ended up taking out the Arc Trails and bringing in the Goblin Assaults because if they're going to do Sweltering Suns and try to out-tempo us, I need to have continual pressure. So I love this hand. So first things first, we drop down the Stromkirk. They play a Plains, and they pass. So I go ahead, I get in, hit them for 1, take them to 19. I drop another land, which I play the Mistress Factory, and I go ahead and I just go ahead and Chain Lightning them. I'm trying to use my mana as efficiently as possible. Now, next turn, I know that I'm going to play Goblin Assault. So again, they can't block this. So I just go ahead and I drop this Goblin Assault. Goblin Assault's actually not great 100% in this scenario because Goblin creatures attack each combat and they're going to gain 2, but they can't stop the Soulfire, or they can't stop the Stromkirk immediately, so we're just trying to get it. But they actually decide to attack us, which I found interesting because they should have held back because then they could block, not take 1, and go up 2, but they didn't do that. And we were able to start beating in. So, drop a land, and we fire up Factory, and we come in. Take them down to 10. Stromkirk gets even a little bit bigger. And I debated on playing this Stromkirk because I'm afraid of Sweltering Suns, but now that this one's greater than 4, I figured, okay, I don't think we have to worry too much about Sweltering Suns here. So we still have this as backup because I'm hoping to block if he attacks and kill it, which he ended up doing. I blocked, and oh, that right, it was a huge misclick. Right. This was the misclick of the century. So I wanted to Spikefield Hazard that thing on end step, but I guess my stops were set wrong and I misclicked. so I was not able to kill that. But you know, we are in a good spot here. I'm holding back the Mistress Factory. To block plus deal plus, you know, to be able to kill it, to stop it from attacking. So I go ahead and double kill it here. And what I should have done, and this was a split-second decision I did. My plan was to hold this back and block, and then Spikefield Hazard them on end step and kill. But I didn't do that, and I completely wasted an attack with that Mistress Factory. I just figured they may have some like deal 3 damage to each creature and give it lifelink or something. So they cast Banishing Stroke for its miracle cost. That was a real nice draw. I don't know if they set that up with Ponder. No, we're turn 5 now. That was not a setup. But Stromkirk goes away. But now, you know, we still have, and this is why I love Goblin Assault here, right? Because Goblin Assault just allows me to keep pressure on them. So I get another 1/1, and I get a Smuggler's Copter, right? So I'm going to just go ahead and fire up, and we're coming in the red zone. I opt to completely ignore this Planeswalker because he has to have 9, and drawing a card is okay, and, you know, I'm just trying to get to him. So he blocks it. I play Smuggler's Copter to give me some flying evasiveness. And they ended up conceding after, you know, they brainstormed, they Ghost Quartered, which is actually a really nice combo in this format, Brainstorm plus Ghost Quarter, when you're doing it on one of those lands. But we ended up winning this game, even despite, like, horrible misclicks. And split-second decisions where we didn't play appropriately. So that was match number 1. We're up 1-0, and we'll be back with match number 2. Alright, we're here with match number 2, game number 1 of our Penny Dreadful League with Mono Red. So, again, this hand's not bad. You know, I like this hand a lot. It's got Stromkirk, which it's my favorite turn 1 play in this deck. And we're on the draw versus One Way Highway. They drop an island, and they play Delver of Secrets. So I'm immediately thinking, like, okay, this is Blue Red Delver. It's a tempo deck. So what do you do versus a tempo deck? You stop their tempo. So we trade, right? They go ahead and they drop a Sprite Dragon. Okay, again, how do you stop a tempo deck? You stop their tempo. So we Burst Lightning it. We play we play Get To because it has haste, and now we're on the offensive, right? So now we're up in tempo. I love this matchup with Mono Red. I just have more removal spells than they do. So we hit for 2. I'm expecting it to get bolted, so I want the bolt to happen now before I play my Stromkirks, because I know Stromkirk's going to be their target moving forward. But we go ahead and we just drop 2 Stromkirks. I'm holding this Chain Lightning back for other creatures that are coming, and now they're searching for creatures, and this is the best. When you're versus a Tempo Delver deck, and they have to try to find an answer and you're already on the board. They got to find threats plus answers plus you're on the board. It feels really, really good. So, again, this Chain Lightning in hand is, like, really, really good. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to crack. I want the bolt out of their hand. Good. They Lava Dart, right? What I should have done, right, in the perfect world, is I should have Lightning Bolted or Chain Lightning now. But I didn't. And they flash back, they kill both our Stromkirks, and it gets to a 3. That was a big switch, right? But they have nothing else to make it a 3, and we kill their threat. They consider and they concede. So they probably could have kept playing because I was low. Like, 1 bolt in this game's different. Like that Lava Dart was like really, really good. But they ended up conceding. So we'll be right back with game number 2. All right, we are back. Match number 2, game number 2. We are versus Blue Red Delver. We are on Mono Red Aggro. So this hand was not good. I don't know if you probably didn't get a good look at that, but it only had one land. It didn't have any like good turn one threats, so I had to ditch that hand. This hand's better. We have things to play. Technically, Spikefield Hazard counts as lands. We have the Smuggler's Copter, which is broken. So we get rid of one of the Spikefield Hazards, and we just they play a land and they play a Delver, which Spikefield Hazard is really good versus the turn 1 Delver, and that's exactly what we do. Play a Mountain, Spikefield Hazard their Delver, and now we're just kind of waiting around. So we drew an Arc Trail. I did bring this in versus this deck because it's really good. So I go ahead and I play the Viashino Pyromancer. I go ahead and I equip, get this Smuggler's Copter up and running. And this is a test, right? This is a Bolt test. We're going to see if they have Bolt. Which they actually let me draw, so no Bolt, which is good. And no Lava Dart on end step, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. But they do Frantic Search. This card's actually legal in this format. Can you believe that? Frantic Search is legal. It's so good. But they discard a Shivan Reef and a Frantic Search. So then they end up Lava Darting. So it looks like on that they found the Lava Dart. So they play a Strike Dragon and they Chain Lightning me to get it to a 2. Their tempo is on point. But here we go. Arc Trail. There are no free counter spells. But Arc Trail's not necessarily great, right? Because Arc Trail, they can flash back this Lava Dart. So I just go ahead and I'm gonna race you. It's time to race. So I fire up 5 damage. I get my Smuggler's Copter. I actually get rid of the Get 2 Lava Runner, which I don't know was right. I probably should have got rid of the Arc Trail because the Arc Trail's not doing too much. But they ended up conceding here. I'm not exactly sure why they fully conceded. Probably they just knew that I had the advantage. I don't know. Maybe that draw step was terrible, but they ended up conceding here, and we are up 2-0 in this league. So, back with match number 3. Alright, we are back with match number 3 of our Penny Dreadful Mono Red Aggro League. And we are on the play, which we love to be on. This hand is not terrible. It's slow, but not terrible. So I actually mulligan it away, and this is what we end up with. So it's not great, right? But we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this Get 2 Lava Runner down. They have Birds of Paradise, right? I don't want them to have a Birds of Paradise. Nobody wants a Birds of Paradise. So what do? We incinerate the bird. And we get in for 1. The whole point is Birds of Paradise is a broken Magic card, and we don't want it around. So they play another Forest. They play a Smuggler's Copter, right? We draw our own Smuggler's Copter, which is a really, really good draw. I probably should have paid the Mistress Factory to play for the Smuggler's Copter and kept up red mana, but I don't want to. I want to bolt more birds, right? And they kind of just let us pass it. We draw another Smuggler's Copter. We play another Smuggler's Copter. We equip a Smuggler's Copter. And we go to town. We get to draw a Goblin Chain Whirler, which we don't need, so we ditch it. Alright. Sometimes when you click through this thing, it just goes so fast. Alright. So, they play a Sylvan Library, right? And my goal now is to punish the Sylvan Library. Like, I don't want Sylvan Library to be in play. And I actually just drew I drew a land for my Hazoret, so we're going to drop Hazoret. We're going to equip, and we're going to hit them for 8, taking them to 7. Right? That's really good. And I want the Chain Lightning in case they draw. If they draw a card, we win. They didn't see what they needed to see, so they ended up conceding this game, and we're up a game. So right back with game number 2. Okay, we are in match 3, game 2, and we are playing Mono Red Aggro. So this is our hand. It's not very good. We only have the 1 land, 2 Smuggler's Copters. We have a lot of spells we can't cast, even though we do have a Stromkirk. I mulligan it away. I don't like it, so I get rid of it. So we end up keeping this hand, and I get rid of, I forget which card I just got rid of, but this is our opening hand now. And they, again, play Birds of Paradise. We don't like Birds of Paradise, so we Spikefield Hazard it. It's gone. And we happen to draw a Virashino, which is just like really good. But again, I'm actually going to kill the bird. I actually Arc Trail, 2 damage to them, 1 damage to the bird. And our goal is to keep that board clean. So that they play a Seraph Realm Eater. It looks like there's some like black, green, maybe a third color type of aggro deck. But I like our position here. So I bolt that thing. It goes away, and then I go ahead and I drop Virashino Pyromancer just to keep the tempo up. They play an Avacyn's Pilgrim and a Sylvan Library. They're down to 1 card in hand. I feel really good about this because I just drew an Arc Trail, right? Arc Trail's been like good or bad, and this is like a highlight of why Arc Trail is so good here. We go ahead and we hit them with the Virashino Pyromancer. I play the Stromkirk, and they start looking through cards. They actually kept a card and went to 8. Which is super risky, and it was for a Loxodon Warhammer. I think they thought that was really going to get them there. But I'm going in. You know, we're putting them to 5, right? 5 damage. They end up destroying a creature, losing 2 life, still 2 life. So we did lose a land, and that's probably a good trade for them. But again, they take 3. And classic, we bolt them for 3. And we end up winning this game. So this was a super quick match. And we're 3-0 in this league with this deck. So pretty good. We're right back with match number 4. All right. Match number 4. Game number 1. Oh, sorry, excuse me. We are on the draw, and this hand's pretty good. We got things that we want. 2 lands, technically 3. And you always love it when you see mono green, typically, versus this type of deck. So I know Lovestruck Beast is really dependent on this human, so I have Spike I can handle later. I do want to get down the Stromkirk, though, because this human can't block it. So we get that down, and I know this Goblin Chain Whirler is about to get real good if it ever does. So they play Satyr Wayfinder, which I'm like, okay, they are a combo deck, and you see here they have Death Mist Raptors, so I'm like, oh crap. This is going to get a little bit more complicated than I think it's going to. But, I go ahead and I play the Smuggler's Copter. I can't attack because Satyr Wayfinder can be blocked by... Satyr Wayfinder can block the Stromkirk, so I don't do it. We're on my turn, my main phase. I drew a Burst Lightning. So I go ahead and I just get that thing out of the way. I play the Spikefield Hazard as a land, and I am such an idiot because what I should have done is played the Get to Lava Runner and then equipped up crewed up Smuggler's Copter, but it was like a misclick or incomplete thought process. Is what that was. So I ended up playing the Get To after like an idiot. Not a great feeling when you realize you missed out on 3 damage. But they play Fauna Shaman, which cannot live. That card is too good to be on this battlefield. So we start off with Burst Lightning. Right, and they go ahead and they crew up their thing, which makes sense. So I go ahead and play Goblin Chain Whirler, and now if they want to block, right, it's going to cost them. So I come in with all 3 of my creatures, right? I use Smuggler's ability. I draw an Incinerate. I get rid of the Virashino Pyromancer because I want to kill their creatures on the board. And Stromkirk goes up to a 5. So I'm still in a good spot here. Like, I'm in a really, really, really good spot. They play another Satyr Wayfinder. I actually keep Mountain in hand now because I have 4 for Hazaret, and the goal is to, if I draw another Smuggler's Copter, to have. Oh, sorry, I did drop the land. But what I should have done, and what I know I thought about it, I should have kept that in my hand for fodder to discard for Smuggler's Copter. But I didn't. And they play Lovestruck Beast. Okay, it can't attack, right? But I draw Chain Lightning, so I'm going in for the kill here. They block the 3/3. And again, I'm such an idiot because I should have done Incinerate on that. 3, 4. Oh, never mind. Please forgive me here because there we go. And as you see, they're at 4 life. I have 6 points burn. So we go ahead and we kill them there. So that was match 4, game 1. We'll be right back with game number 2. All right, match number 4, game number 2 of our Penny Dreadful League. This is our opening hand. I got lands. I know that they have birds and stuff. I don't remember if I actually kept this or not. And believe it or not, I kept it. So, they didn't do anything. So I believe I dropped the Spikefield Hazard as a land to give us 2. They play a Fauna Shaman. Can't allow it to live. Fauna Shaman is just a card you just cannot be allowed to be on the battlefield. So we get a Stromkirk. They get a Mistress Factor, and they get a Death Mist Raptor. So I can't do anything about that, but what I can do is go ahead and drop this Smuggler's Copter, which is what I did. I kept it back. They play their own Smuggler's Copter. I drop, I crew up this Smuggler's Copter, and I go in for an attack. Hit them for 3. They crew it up. They're going to block with us. So we get rid of the Spikefield Hazard because it doesn't really do anything. We trade Smuggler's Copters, which I'm pretty good about. They also filter as well. Get rid of a Satyr Wayfinder. And now I play another one, and I drop another Get 2 Lava Runner. So they play another Smuggler's Copter as well. We're in this weird Smuggler's Copter war. And now I'm not playing around. If he blocks any one of these, I'm going to kill it. So I get rid of another Archer up as I drew one. I actually thought, dead serious, that he was going to crew up this Smuggler's Copter, but he really wanted this Stromkirk dead. So I go ahead and I kill it and do a little bit of damage to them, and I play another Smuggler's Copter. So now we're going back and forth. They play Pulse of Marasa and get their creature back, which I don't know if was the greatest move, and then I top decked the top deck of top decks. Think about that just for a second. I just top decked a friggin' Hazoret, right? Now, they ended up conceding when that happened, but I would have crewed up both of those, so we've been 6, about 11 damage, taking them to 9. Whew. Brutal. So they ended up conceding here, and we are 4-0 in this league. So stay tuned for match number 5. Alright, we're in match number 5, game number 1, and we are facing off, we're playing Mono Red. We're on the draw, which is a little unfortunate. I always want to be on the play, obviously. But they play a Darksteel Citadel, so they're playing this mono white modular affinity deck, which has quite a bit of life gain. So our goal now is going to be keep this board clean. So Arcbound Ravager, that card can get pretty serious pretty quick. So with only one battle, I don't think he's going to sacrifice a land to try to save it. So, he can't save it even if, and I got to get it off the board now. So I go ahead and I Spikefield Hazard because I actually wanted him to sack the land, and then if he sacked the land, I'll just Burst Lightning. I know it's a 2 for 2, but I want to be up on lands as well. And I decided to keep cards back in hand because more creatures are coming and lifelink creatures are coming. So I want to make sure that whatever he plays dies. So again, another Arcbound Ravager with 1 land available. I go ahead and I drop that land. I need that thing off the battlefield. So I play Stromkirk and I get in there. And we're doing a pretty good job. We're keeping the board clean. No lifelink creatures as of right now. We get in for 3. Stromkirk's getting bigger. We're loading the board down. Goblin Chainwhirler is typically really good in this matchup, but here comes the first of the lifelinkers. And now, technically, he could get it to a 3, right? So, I draw another Burst Lightning though, which is really, really good. and I'm just waiting for him to make the move because I have the advantage, and he conceded in game number 1. So we're up a game in match 5. Back with game number 2. All right, we are back. Match 5, game 2. We're about to get our 5-0 if we win this one, so we're like super pumped about it, right? Like we're like, and this hand's like, oh my goodness, how did we lose this, right? So they play a turn 1. They don't even do anything on turn 1. We're like, oh my god, this is real good. But we get mana tithed. Like, can you believe that? Mana tithed. That's the upset of the entire thing. So then they play Ingenious Smith, and this is not looking good all of a sudden. They get a Darksteel Citadel. Oh no. Alright, so we don't have the removal spell when we need it, right? We're 1 behind, because now it's a 2. Oh, and there comes the Lifelinker with the Arcbound Ravager. Oh no. So what do we do? Well, we at least make them consolidate, and we drop the Chain Whirler. So they save the Arcbound Ravager. Completely and totally respectable. They play this human creature, and they don't do anything, actually. So, okay. We're not done yet, right? We have some things to do. We play a Hazoret, right? Hazoret can still crew up the Smuggler's Copter, so we are going to get rid of our other Hazoret. So we're not looking bad here, right? It's not terrible, but then they play the Arcbound Javelineer. Alright, this thing's getting bigger. This thing's getting bigger. It's not looking good for us. Then they play a lot of Venerated Loxodon. So they are on fire here, right? Whew, that card's too late. So we get our hands down and we crew up. And our goal now, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. But the Venerated Loxodon stops us, so we loot, we get rid of the Spike Field. I want the creature. And they are at 6 life. So we're thinking like, okay, can we win here? But then they play a Johnny of the Pride, giving it flying and double strike, so you do the math. I am so dead here. So we're heading into game 3, match 5. This is like our life's on the line for this 5-0, so let's see if we do it. Alright, match 5, game 3. We're fighting for the 5-0 here, right? So let's see how we do. This hand, what do you think? Keep? Get rid of? What do you think? Whew. It's a tough one, right? I keep it, right? I like it. I want my Get to Lava Runner down. I have an answer for their turn 1 play. They play Toolcraft Exemplar. I knew I had an answer for a turn 1 play, and I have these two. I ended up being really lucky and drawing a mountain. So, I Spike Field Hazard it away. I played another Get to, and then I crack them for 1. So we're already on like a really, really good spot here, because if they play another creature, then what we can do is we can Burst Lightning it, and then we do for 4. So they play an Ingenious Smith. Again, we're loving this at this point, right? I mean, like, we Burst Lightning it. They're now down to 15. We're in a good spot here. We love our spot. Darksteel Citadel, Smuggler's Copter, and that's just like and a Javelineer. So what did I do here? That's right. And this is keep the board clean, right? We are keeping that board clean. We play another Smuggler. We draw Smuggler's Copter. We get really, really lucky. We come in for 4. I mean, we're loving this, right? But then they play their lifelink creature. Okay. Let's get rid of it. And here, I feel like they should have activated the Smuggler's Copter as a blocker, but maybe it was a misclick on their part and they didn't. Anyway, I fire up my Smuggler's Copter and we are getting in, right? We get rid of the arc trail. We get another mountain because I want to play this Goblin Chain Whirler next turn because I have 3, 4, 5, 6. So they play both, right? So they get some blockers now, but no flyers. We draw an Incinerate. So we go ahead and we drop the Chain Whirler because I want him to start sacrificing our artifacts. So he crews up, and he puts the counter on the Arcbound Ravager, right? But it doesn't have flying, so I go ahead and put it up, and I come in, right? Because it already has 1 damage, so he has to get rid of a lot of stuff to try to save it. So, you know, I'm a big fan of this play, and we trade a bunch of stuff, right? Again, he keeps his Arcbound, but he had to sacrifice a lot to do it. He's at 3 life. I have an Incinerate, and he plays Glass Siphoner, and I was like, okay, that's cool, because I don't actually even need to do anything. I just burned you for 3. And we went 5-0 in this league. I was really, really excited about this. This deck is super good. It's super consistent. Even as you saw throughout this league, a couple of unoptimized plays, and we still ended up 5-0. So if you're interested in Penny Dreadful, I highly recommend checking out Red Deck Wins. It is a great deck, and I feel like it deserves a little bit more praise than what it gets. A lot of people in Penny Dreadful hate these type of decks. They don't think that they're all that they don't require a lot of skill or whatever, and maybe they don't, but it wins and it's fun and it's sly and I enjoyed it. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back with another Penny Dreadful video in the future. So I hope you enjoyed the format. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and then of course join our community. You can always join our community. We have 4 tournaments per week. We have lots of EDH going on in our community, and we would love to have you. So we'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.